Hey everyone, it's Julianne Meyer, host of Own Your Wellness. Happy, what is it? Thursday. Oh my goodness. You know, when you don't have a 9 to 5 anymore, it's hard to remember what day of the week it is. Anyway, I'm glad to be back and I have a special guest. Her name is Vanessa Macias. I probably said that very white, but and now I'm prejudiced. But anyway, she is such a special young lady and so in tune with the world and spiritual laws as well as the body. And I'm just excited to have her on the show today because she has taught me so much already, and I cannot wait for her to share her knowledge with everyone here. Let me bring her on. Hey, Vanessa. Oh, hold on 1 second. I think I had you on mute. There we go. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me, Julianne. It's a pleasure.
It's so good. It is so good to see you again. I can't tell if it's because your hair is straight or it's a lot longer, but you look fantastic.
Thank you.
So I had the privilege of getting to know you a while back, and you've been in my life for a few years now, I think it's been. But and I've seen you grow, and so obviously I know more about you than some of the people who are watching now. So I would absolutely love for you to share a little bit about yourself and your own wellness journey.
Of course. Well, let's see. Where do I even start? Well, I'm from Guatemala, so it was a cultural shock coming over here. You know, it's the adaptability. I've been pretty good at it without acknowledging that I was pretty good at it. You know, came here at a young age when I was 11, and I was raised in Orange County, specifically San Clemente. I graduated from San Clemente High School. From a young age, I had an injury on my low back, and I used to dance, so I injured my back when dancing, and I stopped dancing because of that. Had I known that I could have continued doing what I love to do by just, you know, taking care of my body and actually stretching and doing the good things for my muscles so that way I wouldn't injure myself. If I had known that massage therapy would have been an option for me, I would still be dancing. So after high school, I became a medical assistant fresh out of high school, and I just knew I wanted to help people one way or the other. I just did not know how or where to begin. So I became a medical assistant, and I was in the medical field for almost 10 years. I worked at different offices. I worked at a hospital. I worked at a naturopathic doctor. When I worked at the doctor's office, naturopathic doctor, that's when my blindfold was taken off. And I became aware of the toxicity within everything around me, my environment, my thinking, my doing, everything. And that's when I actually started working where I met you. And that's when I was going through that journey, you know, literally a holistic healing journey on a personal level and also on a professional level. On a personal level, it was a lot of, you know, releasing and forgiving, but mainly forgiving myself for allowing such behavior to continue and not being aware of myself and what I would be doing and what I was also doing to the people around me, if that makes any sense. So I signed up for school to become a holistic health practitioner. I actually wanted to be a natural medicine nurse, okay? And so I came across this program, and man, the first day of class, it was about massage. And I had never received a massage or even given a massage. So I had no idea what the heck. Ew, people touching me touching people. What? So it was completely leaving my comfort zone. Literally. I was not comfortable with, you know, under my own skin. So how could I, you know, help others when I myself wasn't fully there? So the school that I went to made sure that they teach you that to be able to be a healer, you need to be able to heal yourself.
Yep.
So they gave us the proper tools to be able to do so. Before I became a massage therapist, I had to do a lot of trauma release. I had to do my own healing, so that way I could actually be able to help others with my own experience. And I love it. It has been a journey, I tell you. But I enjoy every second of it. It's not about the money. It's more of the impact that I leave on people that are on my table, or the people that I meet, or the people that come across me. I plant that little seed, and that's all I do. Yes.
So you dropped a lot of really good bombs that I want to like get into, but something you said, impact, and that word means a lot to me, because as somebody who also wants to help people, you know, having an impact is the important part of it. And wouldn't you say, I mean, that with massage therapy, I mean, maybe I'm like speaking out of turn and that's why you're here. You know, you talked about how you had to do trauma release and all these other things. Do you feel like part of that was because you are, you know, actually physically touching people, that you don't want to put that energy into their body or their skin? Or am I misreading that? Or
no, you're very correct. You know, on a daily basis, we deal with people, and people are energy. And if you're not aware of your own energy, it's like you're a magnet. We're all a magnet, you know. And so if you're not careful what you're putting out, you don't know what you're going to be receiving at the same time.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know, people, I mean, for some people it might sound woo woo, and then it's like, okay, let's bring this down to something everybody understands. You walk into a room and you know people were just fighting in there 2 seconds before. That's energy. You can
That is
feel that
right.
even though they're quiet. So, of course, you know, it's not really exactly far-fetched to think about that.
It's true.
So since it is more than touch, and I actually do want to get into the physics of, you know, the importance of massage, but it is more than that. Do you find that people talk to you about issues, or is it just, can you feel maybe, and this might be a little too profound for some people, but like, you know, we keep our issues in our tissues, that
I wish.
saying? Can you sort
Yes.
of tell where, you know, somebody is maybe keeping a feeling in their body?
Yes, I can completely. And you are very correct. We do hold issues within our tissues, and I live off of that. It's really true. You don't realize it, especially when you're always on the go, you know, always on to the next thing. You don't stop, and you don't stop to think like, okay, you know, like I'm upset, but I'm just going to put it in the back burner and not deal with it and just allow that to build up. That's basically what we're doing. Especially, for example, you come across a person that upsets you, right? Are you going to, I mean, what are you going to do? You're just going to keep it in and not process it. And then what? Then you start feeling tension, and then you start feeling pain. And then you wonder where that pain and tension is coming from.
Exactly. So my thing too is, you know, you're very familiar with toxic work environments. And, you know, fortunately or unfortunately, I should, well, it kind of depends on what side of the coin you're on. You know, COVID has changed sort of, now all of a sudden we're out of certain environments, which may not have been healthy for us, which is actually, you know, a blessing in disguise. But what would you say to someone who, you know, how often should somebody go for a massage, for example, if they are dealing with stress that might be more so than others? Like, let's say an ER nurse these days, for example.
Ooh, every day. I honestly would say at least once a week, especially for that profession. You know, you're dealing with not just your own energy, but other people's energies and the family members' energies. And it's a lot of balancing to do. So imagine when you get home and you feel drained, literally drained. And it's because of that. You've been sharing your energy. So it's a matter of, there are boundaries. You know, we have to learn how to protect our energy and at the same time balance other people's energy.
So you're talking about protecting your energy. So obviously you have some skill in that. And I know some like techniques, but what do you do personally to protect your own energy?
I do a lot of self-care and balancing. For example, today I had a client, and I took the time to go to the beach before heading over to my client, and I did meditation and I balanced myself so that way, because I woke up feeling a little off, and I don't want that to, my client gaining that energy from me. It's selfish, number one. And number two, it's unfair for the other person, you self-aware. Simple as that. Yes.
So, something that I think that people, and I know I was one of those people, I always thought that self-care was things like facials. And you know what? And at times I thought massage was a luxury. But
Yes.
now that I've become a personal trainer as well, I understand better the importance of,
Massage.
taking care of your body. I mean, that's taking care of your body. That's not, it's not a luxury. It's
Yes.
literally something that helps keep you healthy.
Very true.
And I know a lot of people might say something along the lines of, oh, but that's so expensive, or I don't have the money. And that's a perception. But how do you, as a businesswoman, sort of overcome that or help people see it in a different light?
The perspective that I put on them is basically, you have the self-care bill compared to the healthcare bill.
Yep.
And the point is to not get caught up within that healthcare environment, going back and forth between doctors, and they give you one medication and then you're going back because that medication is making you feel some way, and then they give you another medication to balance the other medication, and it's like, how is this really helping the individual? It's really not.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's just a matter of making them aware and giving them a shift in perspective.
I think that's really important because, like I said, I didn't realize for the longest time, and that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to have this particular episode, because I now understand the importance of it, and it really is just a shift in your energy and a shift in the way you perceive things. And it's like, you call it healthcare, but I prefer to call it sick care, because you're like managing symptoms and you're already not feeling well. So would you prefer to spend that money on continuing to feel well? Or do you want to, spend it on doctor's visits, which is exactly what you said, but I just rephrased it slightly.
Yeah. And another way that I put it is, do you want to live, or do you want to continue surviving?
Amen. I love that. That is definitely one of my things, because I think too, and especially with injuries or even getting older, people assume that, that they're not going to be as flexible as they used to be, or, they're not as strong as they used to be. And all of these things are just stuff that we're sold, in the media and advertising and that sort of thing. But if you do take care of yourself, you can actually maintain and not survive, but thrive, as you mentioned. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, did you want to elaborate a little more, or you good?
I see it as when it's like that law of what is it, attraction, where I'm learning this myself. I'm working on that right now, where I found myself like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, why am I not getting this? Why am I not getting that? And it's like, no, 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 no. Let's switch up the wording. Let's go ahead and say, I'm going to get this. This is what I'm going to get, rather than putting that negativity out there already within your aura.
That's so true. And I was just thinking about that too, because I've been learning a lot about technology. This is coming from somebody who a year ago could barely work a Zoom, and now it's definitely different. But I've taken things a whole nother level, and it's like, oh, this is so hard. And as soon as I hear myself saying that, it's like, okay, no, this isn't hard. This is new.
Correct.
You're getting this. This is new. It's it feels uncomfortable until you're familiar with it. So I like that idea.
Yeah. As humans, we're not comfortable with change.
Exactly. But the thing is like, it's constant. It's just that we only notice it when it's all of a sudden in our face, smacking us. And that's what life does when you don't take care of something, because it gave you little signals all along. Things started adding up all along. And then all of a sudden you can't get up out of bed one morning and you're wondering what happened. Well, you had signs all along. So real quick, because I was just thinking about stretching. I am the queen of not stretching. And
Okay.
I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I'm going to be real because I know that I'm not the only one.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand mentally how important it is. But could you give some examples of how your life can actually improve? And it doesn't necessarily have to even be, like that you're more limber, for example.
Mm-hmm. The way I explain stretching and the benefits of it, it's when we're stretching, we're bringing circulation and oxygen into our muscles, and
Yeah.
not just the muscle, also the tissues. Like I'm talking about
Mhm.
tendons, ligaments, tissue, and it gives you better flexibility and range of motion. So that
Mhm.
way, when you go and work out, your muscles already have life in them. There's blood, there's oxygen for them to go to their full extent.
Mhm. So you
And
get more out of it.
yes, you do. And I promise you, now that I'm putting it into that perspective, when you start stretching, you will notice that the more you stretch, the more flexible you become. And it's not, that's another thing with stretching. When you're feeling pain, you've gone too
Mhm.
far.
See, that's a really good point because I always try and make it painful. And then, of
Mm,
course, I don't want to do it.
correct. And that's yeah, I used to think the same way, like, why do I have to stretch? That's so uncomfortable. But it's not uncomfortable. That's just that's a thing. To be able to heal, it's okay to feel discomfort, but not pain.
There you go. That's a good distinction. Discomfort is definitely different than actual pain.
See, pain
Yeah.
is literally pain you cannot tolerate. Discomfort is pain you can tolerate.
I like that.
Hmm.
I like that. So, what about rolling? What's the difference between stretching and rolling?
Foam rolling. Foam rolling is more of a self massage,
Oh,
and it could
okay.
be, yeah, it could be incorporated into stretching.
Uh-huh.
And it's more of a literally just using an object to help you and assist with stretching.
That's
It's basically doing the same thing as bringing circulation and oxygen into the muscle. It's just a preference. You could do the stretching, or you could do the foam rolling, or you could do combination of both.
yeah. Well, so here's my question then about like pain versus discomfort. When
Mhm.
I first started foam rolling my IT bands, which is the outside of the thigh, like all the way down to your knee. Wow, okay, that hurt so bad.
Mhm.
However, I didn't do it for super long, but now I can do it. It's not painful. Now it feels good.
Mhm.
It's gotten to the point where it might be tight, but it feels good. So was I actually hurting myself at that point when it was painful?
The thing with the IT band, it is not a muscle; it's a tendon.
Okay. Okay.
So when we're foam rolling it, it is going to feel uncomfortable because we're not working on the muscle; we're working on a tendon.
Okay.
Okay,
You
so
think I would know
so what we want to focus on is you want to foam roll your hip flexors and your
Mhm.
TFL muscle.
Okay.
Those are those are where the IT band attaches. And
Okay.
and when the IT band becomes super tight, it's because the muscles that it attaches to, they're already tight themselves, so they're pulling on that tendon. When a muscle becomes tense, it basically shrinks because it's lacking
Mhm.
oxygen and circulation. So anything attached to that muscle is going to be pulled with it.
That's fascinating. I've been I thought I knew it, but you just schooled me. You taught me something new. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
That
Same
makes
with
so much more sense.
yeah, that way, now you know how to approach it. For like another example, people that are slouching, I myself am slouching and I'm noticing that right now.
Mhm.
Um, it's the same thing. My pec muscles are tight, pulling my shoulder forward.
Got you. So that's why if you slouch, you're not supposed to do push-ups because
Correct.
it's
Posture.
okay.
Mhm. Yes.
Fascinating. I mean, I knew that you weren't supposed to because it didn't promote good posture, but I
Correct.
didn't really get why. That's
Hmm.
interesting. You know what? you know Alex Wade, at least. But something he taught me, he's a massage therapist, and he taught me years ago that a really cool thing in the car, because we tend to start slouching when we're driving and like getting up towards that steering wheel. And what he taught me was to put my rear view mirror in a place where I couldn't actually see out of it. So I had to go like that all the time and like look up at it.
That's pretty smart, actually.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And I can't even tell you how many times it just automatically straightened up because I had to see out of the rear view mirror.
The little things, right?
Yeah, until I like outsmarted it and figured out a way that I can still slouch and see. But that's that's just lazy. That's the difference. I do want to talk a little bit, but I think that maybe we should do that after commercial break. But something for you to think about in the meantime is the different types of massage and what the benefits are, because I definitely want to talk about that. Okay. But are there any other things like posture related with muscles that people can do that are just quick and easy to add into like their daily routine?
Honestly, yoga.
Yoga.
I know some people, it's like, oh, you have to be flexible for this. You need to, you need to be specific type of body. Wrong. No, everybody can do it. It's just literally what yoga does for you. It makes you connect with your body. It makes you listen to your body and notice where you're feeling more tight. Therefore, you can pay more attention to that area and actually allow it to release and heal properly.
I never even thought about that. Because yoga is another thing that I've sort of resisted doing, even though I know full well, I mean, not only the physical benefits, but the spiritual and mental ones as well that come along with yoga. I know in Western culture, it's more intended for exercise, and which I've never really considered it that way, because I've always thought of it as, like being in tune with my body. And not that exercise isn't, but it's just, anyway, I digress. So what about for a beginner yoga person who may not feel comfortable going to a class, would you recommend, say, a YouTube, or is that, okay.
Yeah, that's how I started. Julianne, I was really shy. I was not comfortable in my own skin. I was scared to walk into a gym. I was scared to go into a yoga studio. Why? Because I wasn't comfortable, So I made it easier on myself. And I said, okay, if I'm not comfortable, let me start at home. I got everything I needed, my yoga mat, all the little, the bands and the blocks you need for your yoga. And then I started there.
I love that. Do you, how often do you practice yoga?
I try to practice yoga almost every day. Okay. I try to include it into my routine, incorporate it. It's hard at times just because the commitment towards myself, I'm still working on that a little bit. But I could really tell the difference. And I literally start yoga in the mornings. That's when I do it, morning and night.
Beautiful. It seems like a good way, to relax your muscles too. Something that you said that I actually want to touch on really quick is, the self-care and that, putting yourself first, and how sometimes you still struggle with that. But it's funny because, you also mentioned that you don't want to go into, see a client and have that energy that's off. And people don't understand that even if you're not in like a healing modality, how important that is. It's not just, it's yoga's not just for you. It's for the people around you too. So, do you feel like it also helps with your relationships? I mean, in a roundabout sort of way, or does it actually help your mood and therefore, affect your relationships?
Yeah, it makes me more aware, and that's overall, mentally, physically, emotionally. It also makes me be nicer, more. I have a very strong demeanor. So yoga alone kind of like eases that off, and it helps me set the tone for the rest of my day.
I love that. And, something else I was just thinking about while you said that was it's a lot easier to be nice when you're not in pain and you're feeling good. So,
Very true. And yoga alone helps me get out of my own head.
yeah,
At the
I
same
love
time,
that.
though, it's helping me tune in with myself.
Mhm. In a
Um,
more profound way.
Correct. Yeah. We get caught up with, everything all about us. Everything's about us. And then we start, your head starts going off. And then it's like the little voices in your head. That reminds me of The Untethered Soul, the best book ever. I read
Yes,
that book.
I know you did.
Yes. Thank you. um, yeah, it's just, I don't know. If you haven't tried yoga, give it a try. I know leaving the comfort zone, it's something new and change alone. But I promise you, as soon as you try yoga and you start to listen to your body rather than having somebody tell you what's wrong with your body.
Yeah, exactly. And you know yourself better than anybody. So if you can actually hear what yourself is saying, like your body, then imagine that's better than trying to listen to the man in the white coat.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we do have to go to commercial break, so we'll be right back, Miss
Okay.
Vanessa. Isn't she awesome? I just love her wealth of knowledge. And even though massage is one of her specialties, it's not her only specialty. So, before we do go to commercial break, I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching live. It's always such a pleasure to see you guys pop up on the screen and your comments. So, definitely appreciated. But as I mentioned, we do have to go to commercial break. So, we'll be right back.
When drug or alcohol addiction take over, things begin to disappear. Your friends, your family, and eventually, you. Recommended by Dr. Phil, New Method Wellness can help get your life back with individualized treatment plans for dual diagnosis clients. New Method Wellness provides the most highly credentialed treatment in a safe and welcome environment. Call New Method Wellness for your free consultation and ask about our national accreditations. Together, we can put the pieces back together.
Hey everyone, it's Julianne Meyer, host of Own Your Wellness, and we are back from commercial break. And I am so ready to get into the meat, the juice, the goods of massage. So let's bring Miss Vanessa back on. Hey girl.
Hello.
So let's talk about your forte.
All
Can
right.
you please describe a little bit about massage, what it is, what it does, and how the different types are, and like how to pick for yourself, all that fun stuff?
Okay. Let's
A
see.
million questions in one.
All right. I'm gonna say massage from my perspective. It's man, it could be many, many things, you know. I can say it completely changed my life from receiving massage to giving massage. It helped me realize that we really do hold issues within our tissues. You know, when I'm massaging people, people tend to twitch. You know, there's twitching on my table, there's emotional release on my table. And, you know, it's very rewarding from my point of view to be able to, it's a compliment for a therapist. You know, even when people start snoring on my table and they start apologizing for it, I'm like, please don't apologize. That's a compliment. um, but it's a lifesaver. It's you know, it prevents injuries. It also
Mhm.
helps you recover faster. It helps detox the body. It makes you aware of your body.
Yes.
Um, and it also allows you to have a better understanding of your body and actually being comfortable in your own skin.
Mm.
There are different modalities within massage. It could go Swedish massage. It could be deep tissue, sports massage. It could be hot stone massage, cupping therapy, lymphatic drainage. That's one of my main modalities, lymphatic drainage, and it's basically stimulating your body to detox on its own. It could be combined with anything, and I work with a lot of sports people. I work with people that have just went under surgery and they're getting, you know, they got plastic surgery done or BBLs done.
Mhm.
And lymphatic massage, what helps do it basically gets rid of the inflammation within your body. It's a very, very light massage, very light. And I'm talking
Huh.
about like on top of the skin. It's not muscle work, it's your lymphatic
Huh.
system being stimulated. Um, so it's a very intricate modality, and I love it. At first, I was so skeptical about doing it because it requires extra training. Not only
Mhm.
that, the type of clientele that you get with this modality is very delicate. You know, you get people that get injuries. You know, they come in
Mhm.
with a swollen ankle or a swollen knee, and it's like people already come in afraid of feeling the pain, right? And then
Mhm.
what I'm doing is basically trying to make them feel comfortable and literally moving away the inflammation with the
Yeah.
massage. Um, my other favorite modality is cupping. I love it. And
Is it
it
supposed to leave little not scars, but like hickeys on you?
yes, and that is it tells us if the little hickey looking, yeah, it basically lets the therapist know what's going on within the tissue. So
Ah.
it's gonna have different colors. It might be purple, it might be brown, it might be no color at all. You know, it just depends. The darker it is, the more toxins within that tissue.
I had a feeling that was the case.
Yes,
So
yes.
I mean, wanna dive in and ask really quickly. So about the lymphatic drainage,
Mhm,
what about somebody who, for example, let's say me, because I'm the
mhm,
center of the universe and it's all about me, but I don't have any actual injuries, but I
mhm,
do know that I due to some of the stuff that I've eaten, for example, I get inflamed, and I know that that's causing issues. Is that the
mhm,
same as for your lymph would having something like that help with that? I mean, besides the fact of eating things that don't do that to me.
mhm.
But
Definitely.
yeah. So
Yes.
that yeah.
And it could be anybody. It could be any type of inflammation. It's literally the natural way of detoxing your body. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, I've received it myself, and I it's so weird. It's a weird feeling. Like when I'm receiving it, my whole body gets tingly. And it's from, yeah, it's from the actual lymphatic system being stimulated and like helping get rid of all the toxins within my body, all the inflammation, stagnation within the tissue.
Yes.
Um, Yeah, it's not a lot of people know about lymphatic massage, and I that's one of my goals to put it out there.
Also, while I'm thinking about it, let's put this out so people can reach out to you. And you are massaging. Do you have a place where you do this, or do you go to people, or what?
I go to people at the moment, but I am working on getting my own place. Yes.
That's exciting. Well, with
Yes.
COVID too, it's probably easier to go to people because they feel more comfortable wherever they choose.
Right. And
So
it
that's
gives you
great.
the liberty. I mean, I can go anywhere and massage at a park. I could be at the beach. I could be,
Yep.
in your home. It really just wherever.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, this is still because my brain is like, okay, I've got to know more about this. Okay, with the cupping,
Yes.
for example, now you've got these little hickeys all over you.
Mhm.
What would be the next step for healing? Or is the
Consistency.
actual cupping like pulling stuff out?
It is. It's also another way of detoxing the body. It's literally forcing the toxins out of your tissues. Hence why we get the little hickey looking bruises. Um, but it's like the gym, you
Uh-huh.
can't just go once and expect a change to happen right away. Um,
Exactly.
so it is a commitment and it is the consistency that you need to have within yourself and your body.
And how often would you're saying that most people, like on average, once a week or every 2 weeks, or what do you find the average person is actually willing to commit to?
For somebody that's really active and lives a very stressful life, I would
Mhm.
recommend once a week.
Mhm.
For somebody that's already halfway and it's kind of like self-aware but still in the middle, I would do every other week.
Yeah, my boyfriend, he does every other week, and he just because he needs to. I mean, because he's so active, but
Mhm,
he's also a personal trainer, so he understands the importance of taking care of your body.
mhm.
But something else too, I've never what's the different like what is a sports massage? Why is that different than say like I don't know, maybe a Swedish massage? I mean, what's the difference?
So Swedish massage is basically relaxation massage. Get the
Okay.
circulation going in your body, get the circulation flowing all over the body. For sports massage, it's a combination of deep tissue and
Mm.
stretching, specifically for whatever sport you focus on.
Gotcha, okay.
Mhm,
Because I've only had sports massages for the last couple years, but, I didn't really understand because I didn't really I've never really had a Swedish massage, so I didn't really know that.
mhm,
Um, so then my other question, though, is sometimes when I would go to, there was this place in Chinatown that I used to go to when I lived in New York City, and their massages hurt so bad, and I was like, "I don't ever wanna go back to this place." I mean, is that supposed to happen, or is it just a little okay.
It's another modality. It's acupressure, tuning
Oh.
on. Yes. Yeah.
I
And
definitely
it's,
felt the pressure.
yeah. So what they do is basically literally the whole massage is focusing on your pressure points.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Yes.
So,
And
I mean
the pressure
hold
points
on.
is basically where we hold most of our tension. There are a lot of channels within our body, and this is Eastern medicine that I'm talking about. But
Mhm.
I mean, one of them is the back of our shoulders.
Yep.
And what we call that is the pool of worry.
Really?
Yes.
I love that. I never heard that before. That's
Mhm.
fascinating. Makes sense.
Yeah.
The pool of
Another
worry.
one would be here in our shoulders, right? That's where
Uh-huh.
we put a lot of our tension. Also, another very, very common one is the glutes. Man,
Really?
yes.
Huh. Never thought about that. I guess that feels good why it feels good when I rub my own bum.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I guess
it's
that makes sense. Huh, I never thought about that.
when I've received a massage and they're working on my glutes, I get very ticklish and it's like, okay, 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 stop, stop, stop. But then am I really ticklish? No, it's just the tension within my muscles that are making my body react that I'm being tickled, but it's the tension within the muscle.
That makes so much more sense to me now, because sometimes that when I would get a sports massage, weird places where I'm not ticklish, it would be ticklish. And I wasn't uncomfortable with the person that was giving me the
Mhm.
massage. So I knew that wasn't it, but that makes sense to me now. Now it
Yeah,
makes, yeah, because that's how your body's reacting to it.
correct. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's fascinating. So, how does somebody decide what is the best massage modality for them to try if they're new to it?
I would start off with circulatory massage, and that's the basic massage. And it's basically making you aware of where in your body are you holding tension.
Yeah.
It's a light massage, but it's still working your muscle. Not too deep, but deep enough for you to feel the discomfort and what's going on within the tension or within your muscles.
Mhm. I love that. And then how does one find somebody that actually knows what they're doing? Because, I mean, I don't want to like throw some like massage envy under the bus, but it seems kind of like I mean, I've had a good massage there, so don't get me wrong. At least I felt good. So that was the point of that. But, it you don't necessarily get somebody that knows, maybe they do know what they're doing and it just doesn't feel like it to me. How do you know if you're getting a good massage?
The way that I see it is when you enjoy what you're doing, when you really find what you love, it is no longer a job. Therefore, the perspective is different. Some do it for the money and some do it for the impact. And that's the difference between therapists.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's an energy thing. It's not
Correct.
the skill level, because somebody might be very good, but if they're just there to go through the motions, and of course
That's
it
right.
doesn't have the same effect.
Correct.
Oh, that's interesting. I never thought about it like that. So would you recommend people say go through referrals, if that's because this show is international, so not
Mhm.
everybody, is in Southern California. So I
Mhm.
just want to make sure that we're able to help everyone who's watching.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, how would you even go about? Would it just be word of mouth, or
Oh, that's a tricky one.
it is?
Um,
There might not be a good answer.
it's feeling out the person. You have as a client, as somebody on their table, you have every right to ask, where they know what they know and where they went to school and how long they've been doing this for. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's not about them, it's about you.
Yeah.
So, and as a therapist, they can't take offense to that because you have the right to know.
Well, also your body's being touched. So wouldn't you want to know? Yeah. It's like you wouldn't just go to a doctor without talking to them, or, finding out what their credentials are.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that makes a lot of sense to me. Huh.
It's like when I go and get blood drawn. Oh, I'm not good at that. I mean, I have tattoos. I just can't handle needles.
That's hilarious. It's
So
funny. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
literally ask them, okay, how long have you been doing this for?
And I'm sure that that puts your mind at ease as well.
Yes.
So I guess also a lot of it is just your intuition. Like for me, I might not go to a place where it has great massage therapists, but the actual building itself just doesn't do anything for me. I'm not going to go in there because I already don't feel welcomed.
Correct.
So interesting. And
Mhm.
then I know the answer to this, but what's an appropriate amount to tip? Like, how do you
Ooh.
tip? Yeah.
Oh man. Sorry, my
Maybe my
cat.
daughter has a little tail. It's okay.
um, it really depends, to be really honest. I've worked in different fields. I come from, a spa itself, and they do 15 to 20% of the for tip. Others, they just do flat rate. It really just depends on, honestly, how good you are. It comes down to how intuitive you are and how connected you are during your massage. Like, I mean, yeah, I will tip, because it's the right thing to do at the same time. But
Mhm.
if I'm leaving the table and I'm not happy with how I'm leaving, it's just the pros and cons of it, literally.
Yeah.
And it comes down to communication. Communicate with the therapist. Let her know how you're feeling, and then that's how you build a bond. You're not gonna, you can't just go to, random therapist. You have to build a bond with your therapist, and that way you work together to heal properly.
Well, yeah. And then also they get to know your body and they get to know, where you keep your tension specifically or what to look for in you. And it's not like a learning process every single time. And
Correct.
it does build that trust, and I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, so please correct me. I feel like when you do start to develop that bond and that trust, that as the client, you're able to trust the therapist more, which in there, actually helps the muscles because you're not all as tense necessarily.
Very true. Yes.
Is that's accurate?
Yeah. I mean, I get clients that are like flexing for me, and I'm like, wait, hold on. Let's just take a deep breath, and then it also is how you carry yourself with the client. You can't just, okay, you're tensing up, relax for me, like relax. And it's like, no, let's ease into it. All right, let's start off with taking a deep breath. We're going to go ahead and start your session. Like, it's really how you go about your practice.
I love that. So, I know that you like to read, and I know that this is totally, I don't know what made me think of this, but, and kind of off topic a little bit, but, I do know that you love to grow yourself as a person. So what are you reading now, for example?
Right now I'm reading it's a book called Body into Balance.
Oh, that sounds actually kind of cool. Is it for, your practice or for knowledge or both?
Both. On a personal level and also on a professional level to incorporate being a holistic health practitioner. You're not just dealing with the body itself, you're dealing the whole being, body, mind, and soul. So when I have a client on my table, I will ask you, are you drinking water? Like, what are you going to do after you leave your massage? Are you going to go and drink? Are you going to go and have a lot of sugar, reverse everything we just worked on? Like, so it's just, it's a commitment from both parties.
Yeah. No, I get that.
It also comes down to the therapist educating the client, not just giving them the massage and, all right, I'll see you next time. No, you have to learn the client, so that way you know how to approach the client and you know how to better assist and help the client.
So, yeah, that's actually, and that I think too is the difference between like finding a massage therapist versus going to Massage Envy. And I know I keep saying that, but that's just a chain that I see all the time. So,
yeah, I've, going to regular spas, it's in and out. That's it. And you might get the same therapist the next time you go, but it is a business, and it comes and goes type of situation. You might not always get the same therapist, and at the same time, it's an in and out situation. There's no bond building. There is no, okay, what's really stressing you out? How are we dealing with that? How are you coping with that stress?
Yeah.
And
then the other thing too that I was thinking about, like you just said, is I was in Mexico a couple months ago with my boyfriend, and one of the things that we did is we got a massage on the beach, and that was fabulous. But that was more like, it was a luxury. It was, it felt really good. It, was relaxing, and I'm not saying that there wasn't any benefit to it, because there absolutely was, but it was one of those in and out situations where it just felt luxurious, and it was a really fun way to spend the afternoon as well. So I see what you're saying.
yes.
I like that though. I like the idea of building that trust and that bond and, that loyalty.
Correct.
There's a loyalty and it works both ways. It's not one-sided. It's definitely like, yeah, I just love that idea.
It's it's about leaving an impact, not just what you can get out of that client. It's about what they can get out of you too, because that's, that's my perspective. Like I can learn something from that person, and that person can learn something from me.
Well, even in this conversation, you've actually helped me with some situations that I've been dealing with, as far as like how to approach my own life. So it's kind of funny how when you're just being authentically you, how much you can help someone else and not even realize it. Cause I'm sure you had no idea that just by answering these questions for everyone, that you were literally helping me in particular.
That's awesome. Very rewarding. Yes.
Exactly. We're running out of time, so I want to make sure that we put this up again so that people know how to reach you. And also, if they're watching on TV, they can find all this information as well in the description. But yeah, so what else would you say? I just want to touch on the protecting your energy again, because I think that especially with so much negativity in the world going around, I mean, it seems to be lightening up a smidge, but what are, meditation, obviously, but not everybody can go to the beach. What about just nature in general? What other ideas do you have to like rejuvenate yourself and your spirit?
Positive affirmations. That's another one. It's okay. Talk to yourself. That's fine. Look at yourself in a mirror and tell yourself, I got this, today I'm going to have a good day regardless. And that also brings me to another point, when throughout your whole day, you come across an angry individual, don't take it personal. And I learned this from you. Do not take it. Yes. Because we all are insecure. We are all a little bit of insecure, and we're always working towards confidence. And when you get caught up with somebody else's negative energy and you absorb that, it's not helping you in any way. What you need to remind yourself is that that person is going through something that you have nothing to do with.
It's beautiful. Yeah. It's true. And you never know. And they're going about their business and they never think about you a second longer. And yet here you are obsessing over them and their bad behavior hours later.
Yeah. And then, you literally go to sleep with this, like, oh my God, but no, don't do that to yourself. That's self-sabotage at the same time. Remind yourself that not everything is about you. And everybody is struggling in one way or the other. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, we're all human. We're one in all and all in one.
Oh, I like that. So do you have any last words of wisdom or pieces of information that you would love to leave with our audience?
Yes. On a personal level, I was afraid of touching people. I was afraid of getting personal with people and talking about, toxic behaviors and why things happen the way they happen, instead of having that victim mentality. Don't be fearful, be courageous, go after what you're afraid of. Yeah, I'm working on that myself. I used to be afraid of riding a skateboard.
I think I still am.
And what did I do? I said, you know what? No, let's flip it. I'm going to be courageous. I bought myself a longboard and now I am skateboarding. So it's just flip the script. Don't be fearful. Be courageous. Go after what you're afraid of. Leave the comfort.
Like that. Yeah, no, I love that too, and then when you do it, it's never what you expect.
It was all in your head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, Vanessa, I want to thank you for being on the show today. It's been such a fun conversation, and I just appreciate all of the knowledge and the kindness and the positive vibes that you've given to our audience, me as well.
I appreciate you inviting me to your show, and it's been a pleasure. And I hope to I look forward to working with you soon too.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again, Vanessa.
Thank you, Julian.
Oh, I love her, obviously. I've missed talking to her on a regular basis because all the little tidbits of knowledge and seeing how much she's grown has been really amazing. And if you are in Southern California, you should definitely look her up and have her give you a massage. I can guarantee you, you will not regret it. Anyway, until next week, have a great day and a fabulous weekend.